Okay, this is a reading for Dani Post in May, I think it's the 29th or the 28th, 1988. The computer does real good at getting them almost in exactly now, which is really great. Okay, let me see where to start. There's 1,000 things, and feel free to stop and ask me a question anytime along the line that you want to. Each house is worth several different things. I never know where to start. I always just look at it and then go from there.
So something I'm kind of interested in here is
Mhm.
all this empty space.
Okay, this does not mean that there's no activity in these areas. If there is no planet in a house, the ruler of the house becomes very important. Now this is your 12th house. The ruler is Libra, so we would look at Venus for your 12th house to see any reaction that we would get in your chart. Now also, I do this chart right here is a natal. It's when you were born. If we looked up in the sky, this is where the planets would be. Now I work with progressions and transits here. So this is where the planets are today. So even if you have no planets in your house at birth, if you'll notice this outside ring I'm working with, look at, they're all in this area right now. So you do get reactions. The middle one, which is the progressions, is how you can emotionally and mentally deal with what you were born with and what's going on now. So it's astrology is a pattern of cycles, is what it is. It's just merely cycles. Okay, now, when we want to know what's going on, we look at progressions too. Well, let's start here. The first house is you, it's your personality, it's the way you react to things, it's your body structure, it's your temperament, it's everything that there is along those lines. It's the outside shell. So you were born with a Scorpio rising. Now, we also have the planet Pluto moved into the sign of Scorpio about 3 or 4 years ago. And let me take you back to maybe about 1.5 years ago. Now, Pluto's your ruler to begin with, so you've lived with him all your life. But within the last couple of years, you may have noticed some changes that you would become more Pluto-ish. Let's see if we can describe what they are. What you tell me? Have you felt differently the last couple of years, or it's like
a lot of things have become consolidated. Yeah.
Okay, Pluto is Pluto means recycle. Pluto means regeneration. Pluto, the way to describe Pluto is it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. So you could have torn down a lot of your past personality and say, this is where I am going now. And then you rebuild from it. But being your ruler, you're used to Pluto during your lifetime. Pluto gives a person, a lot of people don't like Pluto because he can rack them up. But Pluto, oh, you have Pluto trine your sun, so you enjoy Pluto. You get along with Pluto pretty good. You trine your Mars, too. He gives you, how can I put it, a Pluto person can center on a goal that they're going to here. And then they can work toward it. Now, what they do a lot more than other people is they don't set the goal so high that you can't attain it. It's like you set one goal. When that's accomplished, then you set another one. When that's accomplished, you set another one. So this would be what the outside body, what your temperament would be like. So you could be goal-oriented. Now, you may be a Pisces, but you're not really a real true Piscean. Okay, now, and do you know why?
Because I have a stellium in Aries.
You have your Mercury, your ego is in Pisces, your Mars is in Pisces, your North Moon nodes are in Pisces, but it is your Aries part. You have Mercury conjunct your Sun in Aries, so you have Aquarian tendencies. A lot of Aquarian tendencies. You have the Aries tendencies, but you have the Aquarian tendencies along with them. They're in there quite strong. And they would be in there in the house of your 5th and 6th house. Now, I know you're working at the Senior Citizen Center. Your sun, I think, was on a Capricorn Dwad. Let's see, it's 24 degrees. Okay. It is. Okay. What do Pisces people have to do? The main thing that Pisces people have to do during their whole life is give.
Mm-hmm.
They have to give. They have to. They're not. Virgo has to be of service to people. Pisces aren't of service to people. They have to give of themselves to people. Now, why? I don't know how long have you worked at the Senior Citizen Center?
Well, working and volunteering about 4 years.
Okay. I don't know quite what you did before that, but you
Dispatched the ambulance.
Okay. Oh boy, is that a Scorpio?
Yes.
See, that's a Scorpio.
Raised 5
job.
kids, yeah.
Well, you've got this stellium is in your 5th house for kids. Now, also, they have let's see. This will help you too if you read these books and things. Some of these magazines, they have what they call decants and they have what they call dwads.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes no Pisces. Not all Pisces are alike because you've got. I think you'd like to have the explanation of this as
Yes,
I go.
Sure will.
I mean, I'll read to a person any way they want. I'll read you karmic stuff. I'll read you future stuff. I'll read you, whatever you want. But if you're reading some of it, this can help you to understand in your reading probably and help you more. Okay, they have what they call decants. They divide each sign into 3 separate areas, and they're 10 degrees each. So we would look at your Pisces sun. I'll just take your sun for fun here. Now, it's in 24 degrees, so we have to skip up to another water sign, which is, the next water sign is Cancer, the 3rd water sign is Scorpio. So you now become a Pisces person with Scorpio tendencies. So now we're coming back to your Scorpio rising, but now all of a sudden we're seeing, hey, here's a Piscean person has a little more Scorpio in them. Now, then we can divide this to every 2.5 degrees, and we find your Pisces becomes a Capricorn. Your sun now has Scorpio and Capricorn tendencies to it. If we just took that alone without anything else in your chart. So now we have a Pisces that wants to know a little bit how other people tick inside, the investigative work, all Scorpio things. But one person that is Saturn, now we're coming to a little more concrete foundation. Now we're only talking about your ego needs, because the sun is your ego needs. So now we're coming to someone that really kind of needs a concrete foundation there, and also is an investigative person, a Pluto person with it. Now this is just as far as your sun sign. So now we've kind of discovered just what your ego needs are there. See? Now we can do the same thing with Mercury, just for fun. Let's see what your Mercury, this is the way you reason. I always keep this written down because I never can remember the degrees. 9 degrees. So your Mercury is on a Cancer area.
Okay.
So, and where is it? It's in the 5th house, your house of children.
There
So
you
now
go.
we come to a mother that is very nurturing toward her children, right? Now we also come to a mother, now we have the 5th house here, we have the sun in it with Capricorn tendencies. You want to, how is it? Pisces can have the depth and the feeling for the kids, but along with it, you want them to, Capricorn is a more strict mother than what a Pisces in general would be. But now we have this, like getting them a good foundation. You try and get them stable, and you want to nurture them and love them. So now we come to the household area here, and yet we have this Mercury and this Aquarius right near here, which means you want them to be individuals. In other words, you try and get them to grow up so that they can handle themselves.
I think that's true.
And yet it would probably, are they all grown and gone? You're by yourself now?
No, my daughter's still home, but they're all grown.
Yeah.
My daughter's saving money right now.
Okay, so you want to, it would be hard probably to let the last one leave the nest with the Cancer tendencies there. You want to be sure they know it before they go. I guess, of course my Scorpio says, you're on your own. Go for it. And I'll do my thing. Okay, now that's just one territory here, so we didn't even go to the squares and trines of these areas. Let me see what you've got in the way of some changes. You've Gemini moon in the 8th house.
Poor old moon is not aspected, is it?
Oh yeah, your moon squares your sun.
Oh,
This is one of the very strongest aspects you can get in astrology. So in other words, whenever we have, it's a 5-degree orb, but whenever you have anything hit into the sign of Sagittarius or the sign of Virgo, it's going to activate, or into the moon sun sign, it will activate you very much. A moon square sun is a really very strong aspect in a chart. See, the moon's your moods, it's your,
it indicates difficulty, doesn't it?
No,
Doesn't it?
no, it's, let's see, how can I put it? Let's see, the moon, see, Venus is your emotional nature. The moon is your moods, it's your sensitivities. It's how you hide, where you run for things. Okay, you have a Gemini moon. When you have, we'll say, difficulties with something, you figure if you learn about it, this is your, how can it's like the moon retreats, being that yours is in Gemini. It goes for conversation, it goes for reading on whatever is there so that you can stand your ground, is what I'm getting at. It's a collective, being that yours is in Gemini, it's a collective of moods, but your moods, your sensitivities, and your ego are tied in with this square. So when something comes into here, it not only it's like it hits the male-female part of you. It hits the ego part, and it hits the mood swings. Now you're not Cancer, so your mood swings aren't up and down. But we would watch your mood swings by watching Mercury in your chart. And every time Mercury goes retrograde, and it does it 3 times a year, then we would notice you being affected with your moods for about a 15-20 day period, and it would be in the 8th house. Okay, the 8th house is the house of transition. So it's like you go through a transition period with, say, 3 times a year with your mood swings. That sounds, we can get into it a little more, but Gemini moon is like 2 brains. You have 2 double signs, you have Pisces and Gemini. So Gemini is like 2 brains. They can do one thing while they're thinking of another. I mean, you don't settle. It's Gemini moon also is in an area where you can't sit still or do one thing for very long. You have to have change in your life. Whether it's a daily change, or whether it's like, maybe when you start to do the dishes, you'll go to put something away, and then you'll get sidetracked while you're putting that away to do something else. So it's like you have 15 things going at one time instead of just one. And I like, sometimes, you have all the same signs I do, except that they're placed differently. So it makes us very different. But the Gemini moon, I enjoy my Gemini moon. It's the one thing that would get the Scorpio and the Pisces out and moving.
Yes.
So that you don't stay too inward. It makes you go out into the world and do things. And yet now, see, you have this is communication. You have you were born with Saturn in your house of communication.
Yes.
So you don't talk a lot. Or you talk one-on-one. It's like you don't like a whole group at one throw. It's like you want, and yet Gemini likes groups. But the way you communicate, you prefer to do it not with 20 people at a time, but with 1 or 2, is what I'm getting at. You like it, you don't like a lot of noise, you like it in the quiet area of an intimate.
Is Mercury square Saturn? Is that what's going on here?
Okay, let me see. Your Mercury at birth. No, it trines.
Well, Venus is square Saturn.
Venus in square, yes, Venus square Saturn.
What does that mean?
That is discrimination. It is, let me see what houses we're hitting it to. We're hitting it to your 3rd to your 7th. Okay, let's go back to parental things. Parental things are involved with this, with your mother and father. Did you feel that your father, are your parents both living?
My mother is.
Okay.
She's in Florida.
This would be that the father, you didn't feel you had fatherly love. Now, it could mean that he was separated from you, they were divorced.
I never knew him.
You didn't know him. Okay, well, this would be your Venus square Saturn. Saturn is your father in your chart, and Venus square it.
Okay.
So this would show that you were not given fatherly love.
I see what that means.
Now, also, it means discrimination as far as a marriage partner is concerned, too.
Yes.
So, now...
Would it mean that I tend to be too critical of men?
You could be critical of men, but let's put it in another way that's sometimes a little nicer, is that you become more discriminative. Critical or discriminative. Now, it's like a protective shield. If you don't let go of the Venus altogether, then you protect yourself. It's, now you do it 3rd to the 7th, so you're doing it, well, it's in Taurus. Okay, let's take the signs, because this means a lot of it, too. It's in Taurus to Aquarius. Taurus, Venus and Taurus really want security. Inwardly, they want emotional security, so you look for men that gives you emotional security. When they don't give you emotional security, then you're not that interested. Is that hitting?
Yes.
Okay, that's where you come to it. If you find a man that gives you the emotional security, this is fine. Are you single now?
I have been for some time, yeah.
Okay. Have you been, and I don't care if it's married or live-in or whatever it is.
No.
How many mates have you had?
Well, I've been married 3 times.
3 times, okay. Because they couldn't give you the most emotional security that you really wanted, probably.
Well, don't ask me, but it didn't work.
Well, also, let's put it this way too, Dana. You're a Scorpio rising, and you have some of these things here that you're not a weak person. You're a strong person, so you have to have. How can I put it? You have to have a strong man that can be equal to you this way. And yet you're not a passive person where you'll knuckle under him, but you don't want a man that will knuckle under to you. Now, there are not too many of these men around.
That's the problem.
So what happens? Discrimination comes in, see? So this is...
I'm getting a little tired of being alone myself, but...
Well, we'll look and see what's cooking in your chart and see if we can't find something else cooking. But this would be the Saturn square.
That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for explaining that.
It's not...
is there anything about my mother in the natal chart?
Oh, yeah. Your mother comes into reaction too. Your mother and father, okay. You believe in karma, reincarnation?
Absolutely.
Okay. Your mother and father, your sun squares your moon, they weren't getting along too well at the time you were conceived.
They never did. Okay. They separated very fast.
Your moon squares Mars. All right. Now, does your mother live close to here or not?
She lives in Florida. Okay.
It shows here that this is the moon square Mars. Okay, this section. Gemini to Pisces. The two of you would, I would say you're not as compatible as a lot of people, to the extent that either that or you had to, as a child growing up, you had to state your ground with her so you wouldn't be too dominated, so she would count you as an individual. Moon square Mars is usually with the mother. It's more of a argumentative Of course, you can. When I say argumentative, sometimes this sounds wrong because sometimes it just has to be spoken out. In other words, it has to be hashed out and not laid back. Now you have it sextiling your Uranus, and that's a very good thing with your mother. You have it sextiling Jupiter to the top of your chart. Your attitudes toward your mother would be, I would say, would be okay, maybe perhaps understanding this way. You have so many aspects to her, so it affects your chart in many ways.
Well, it was the most difficult thing in my life.
Okay, that's Mars square the moon. That's difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
That's difficulty with the mother, see. She wouldn't turn you free, or you had to fight for your freedom, or whatever you did, she would argue with you for whatever you were doing. It's like, okay, in the moon in Gemini, it's like sometimes you felt that she had so many other things to do, she never had time for you, or she was busy, or something like this.
Well, whatever it was a source of enormous pain to me and guilt because I didn't really care about her much, She was a perfect tyrant, in point of fact.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It would show this in the chart.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And, okay, see, I tried to say you had to fight for survival, so to speak, or this is...
Yeah.
And if she was a tyrant, this is what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You had... But you had the guts. I mean... How can I put it? You had the guts to stand up in spite of it.
Well,
Even if leaving home, what I'm getting at, even if leaving home, and the understanding of it now, but then, no, I would, the aspects are not.
In point of fact, what I have felt is enormous guilt because I have never been a true loving daughter. I've been good to my mother, kind to her, allowed my children.
Hey, okay, let's
but
stop.
I've never been a loving daughter because I
who says you have
her.
to love everybody?
Your mother isn't everybody. Your mother.
No, but they, let me think. God, I went to a lecture a while back, and they brought this right in. If I could just spit out the words that they said, it was so good. We have to love somebody's soul, but we don't have to love them as an individual. And I don't care if it's your mother, your brother, your sister, your father, anybody.
It took me years. The guilt is at this age of my life. I'm finally losing some of that guilt and seeing
This
her
is
just
good.
just
as she was.
Just as a soul, right?
Right.
As you
If you
say.
can accept her soul, but not accept her personality.
Mm-hmm.
When you, they may say string beans are good for you. They say your mother should be good for you. But if you may not like string beans, I mean, maybe this isn't that really wasn't a very good combination to give you, you know.
I know what you mean.
But, no, I don't think I think she gave you a difficult time growing up.
It was very apparent to me when I was very young that my mother was not good for me, as you say, and that was a good analogy. But it was also very apparent to me that you should love your mother. You really should.
This is what you taught.
No, this is what I felt.
Uh-huh.
That I should be able to love her in spite of the fact she was a tyrant and a miserable human being, you know. That she never specifically tried to be destructive to me. It was only her personality limitations that was the problem. And I realized early on that I should be able to overcome that and love her. And actually, it took me years and years and years.
Well, I think you have
struggled to do it.
You do have two nice aspects to her, so this is probably what's helped you. This is your attitudes right here. This is your worldly attitudes here.
Okay, what is worldly attitudes?
Your attitudes toward the world, your attitudes towards
have you got
general
your
things
on
in
Jupiter?
Jupiter, yeah.
Okay.
Jupiter sextiles your moon, so your attitude towards your mother would come to an understanding. But this is your childhood. The first 4 houses is your childhood.
Oh, okay.
In generalities. Okay, what have we got in your childhood? This will give you a little example. Number 1, you got Saturn there. And then number 2, you've got Mars there. Mars is in your 4th house. This is the home. This is what your home is like when you're growing up. That's Mars. What's Mars? It's war. What's Saturn there? It's Saturn's domination.
Okay, I see.
So consequently, your childhood growing up, Mars in the 4th was not what I would call the most...
It wasn't. But this is really interesting. You mean this is, like, generally speaking, this represents your
Childhood,
And
right.
does it go around like that? And
Well,
then this.
yeah, let's, in fact, we can go in depth to these houses if you, now, do you know what the first house is usually? Well, I told you it was like a shell. Do you know what the second house is or not?
Isn't it your worldly affairs?
That's money.
Money, yeah.
But let's take the in-depth part of it. It's self-worth.
Uh-huh.
Now, your second house is ruled by Sagittarius. Now, we're going to have to go. Now, we've also got some stuff coming in here, transits, but we're going to go to your natal. It's your self-worth. Now, let's go to Jupiter and see what your self-worth is like. It's up here, and your self-worth, up until age 18, Jupiter was retrograde in your chart. At 18, it turned forward.
I'll be darned.
So at 18, it was a key year, and your self-worth would turn around to where you'd be taking a different look at it than you were before then. How old were you when you left home?
Well, I got married.
At 18. Okay, so your self-worth was involved in your first marriage. Also, career-wise was involved in. Now let's take a look at your Jupiter. Your Jupiter squares Venus, and it trines Mercury, and it sextiles your moon. Trines Uranus, conjunction Midhaven. See, Jupiter at the top of your chart is sometimes like little Lady Luck on your shoulder. It's optimistic, not pessimistic. Wherever Jupiter is, it's things in abundance, but it's also, it kind of tames anything that's a little rough. Now, we do have it square your Venus for your 7th house. Okay, so when this first marriage, Jupiter at age 18 turned forward, at the same time it squared, well, God, that's a long square away to the Venus. Well, anyway, I'll read it, but this is an awful long one. Away at the first marriage, you were probably thinking that now I'm marrying, all love will be wonderful, all things will be great, the world will be magnificent, and then all of a sudden the realization came, hey, this wasn't the knight on the shining horse after all. More reality set in, but you were hoping, I think you wanted the home or the marriage that you didn't have as a kid growing up.
Of course.
That's what I would say it would show here.
Of course.
So, age 18. Now we also have, if we want to go into this, we have your Mercury at age 43. That's a key year in your life. And age 20. Oh, wait a minute, that was your Mercury. Excuse me, your Mercury, your thinking, okay, went forward. I've got to correct some of this. But age 18, still, it was your Mercury went retrograde, that you reflected. So it's almost like I said, but it wasn't a Jupiter. You reflected about, how can I put it, the leaving home or something like this. Now at age 25 is when Jupiter went forward. That's when we had this Jupiter-Venus. So...
That's when my daughter was born, my first child, yeah.
Okay. I would say from that, you wanted her, you loved her, everything was right with the world as far as that one was concerned. Okay, then at age 43, Mercury went forward again in your chart. So at age 43 would be a key year. Let's see, this isn't, you were 56, you're 56 now. Age 43, that would be
75.
12 years ago. Yeah, it'd be 75, 76. Mercury went forward again in your chart, about 1976.
Boy, I sure didn't make any progress then.
It's, did you feel like you were right back where you started?
Yes.
Okay, because first it went retrograde and then it went forward, so it was like you went right back where you started. You don't have to show any other key years coming up in your life. But these, when a planet progressive-wise goes forward or retrograde. Now, do you know the difference between those?
Yeah.
Okay. When it goes, it becomes a very key year in your life. Through some action, there will be certain things. But if you're born with Mercury retrograde to begin with, this means you kind of stop and think before you do things. Then when it goes forward, it doesn't mean that you go gung-ho, but maybe you speak out more. You stand up and be counted in things. So when you were born, your Mercury, which is your reasoning, but this is also the way you talk, this is your mouth, the way you bring things forward. As a youngster, it was...
Was it retrograde when I was born?
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. But it was in what they call... It was in a secondary house, so you wouldn't speak out as much. You just... See, a Scorpio rising child will... Anybody with Scorpio in them, don't accuse them wrongly. They will take a lot of stuff, but they will not take anything that they're accused of wrongly. If there's a group of kids doing something wrong, but this Scorpio isn't, it's just standing there and it gets accused, they can't handle this. So if at home with your mother or something, she would accuse you of this or that or be tyrannical, then your Scorpio would just really get its hair up. But Scorpio kids don't always say something back. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. You've got passive Scorpios and you've got aggressive Scorpios. Let me tell you something about Scorpios. 2 or 3 things about them. Okay, number 1, they say it's a Scorpio that stings itself. But the other is the eagle. Do you know about the eagle?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then the serpent.
And then, yes, but let's go the older age. First, the Scorpio as a kid. Then they work toward being the flying eagle that soars above all. And thirdly, they become the dove.
Oh, really? No, I've never heard that before.
They become the dove.
Huh.
Then they become the humanitarians. The true humanitarians.
That's good.
Scorpio is not a passive sign. It's a strong sign. The 2 strongest signs I count as the 2 strongest signs in the zodiac are Leos and Scorpios.
Leo and Scorpio.
Uh-huh. Now they're both fixed signs, but they're strong signs. They're not passive people. Scorpios have a very strong emotional nature, but they object having other people see it. Now you have a Pisces, so the Pisces part of you is you carry a harder shell outside than what you are inside.
Yeah, well.
This is what you do as a protective measure. Now, I am a Pisces rising and a Scorpio sun, so people think me much more passive. And underneath, I've got power in the guts, see? So I mask. You mask that you're not as gentle sometimes. Your true gentleness here with the Pisces. Pisces is a forgiving sign. I'm Pisces rising. They may see the forgiving on the outside, but the inside of me says, well, I do forgive you, but you'll never do it to me again. Now let's describe the Scorpio also. It's a rubber band. Now what do you do with the rubber band? You pull it this way, this way, this way, and this way, and it stretches and it bends, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's great. But what happens if it breaks? You never put it back together again. Scorpios have more loyalty than any other sign in the whole zodiac. They are loyal from here to kingdom come. But a Scorpio has a circle. I talk with a pencil. This is my Gemini. Would you like a pencil? This is my Gemini. I have to do it. Scorpio sits in here. And here's all the outside world. And they keep this circle, and they keep these people in this outside world. Occasionally they'll let somebody in. When they let them in, they are loyal to that person from here to kingdom come. They'll work for them. They're great friends, whatever it is. But if the person snaps the rubber band, then the Scorpio pushes them to the outside of the circle again. They got to do an awful lot to break the rubber band. They really have to do a lot. Then they push them out here, and then to the Scorpio, they just don't exist. Yes. They don't have to get even with Scorpio. Doesn't have to get even with them, because they can sit back and they can say, "Well, you get your comeuppance," and maybe somebody else will feed it to them. The Scorpio will say, "Aha, I knew you'd get it." But the Scorpio doesn't have to do it themselves, and they always say these Scorpios are jealous and vindictive. They're not. They just put them on the outside of the circle, and they say, "Sometime your time will come."
People don't understand.
Right? They don't understand the depth. You don't have to get even with somebody, neither do I. But you can sit there and wait and watch somebody else
Or
do
you
it
can
to
just
them, and that's
turn
fine.
it over and forget about it.
And you just push them to the outside of the circle and say, well, you no longer exist, so I don't care about you.
That's very true.
So this is fine. This is a good, to me, it's a good protective thing.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm Scorpio, so I do the same thing.
You understand it very well,
push you
but it's
out.
real hard for other people to understand.
They don't understand it.
Yeah.
But when you're done, you're done. You're a rubber band, and if they snap the rubber band, there is no putting it together. There is no peaceful. Now, you have a lot of Aquarius in you, and we'll get into that in a minute, because that's a difference in a Scorpio. But a Scorpio, when a marriage is done, it's done.
It's
The rubber band snapped.
It's over.
And I don't want any more of it. I don't want to see you. You're outside my circle. Just disappear.
Have you been married once?
Just once.
Must be because of your Pisces rising.
I've got a man that has a Scorpio rising.
You're kidding.
Dick is marriage is like reaching into a barrel of apples. You don't know what you got at first. You're lucky if you happen to draw the first one out that's good. Also, karmic wise, there's certain things you have to learn from each one. And maybe there was things you were supposed to teach each mate, and as you taught them, then their growth would go on from there, where you didn't have that much that you had to learn from each other.
Yeah.
So, but you have, let me see here. Now you have 3 fire signs, you have 2 earth signs, 2 air signs, and 3 water signs.
Isn't that amazingly balanced?
So it's balanced, but now we can take a look into you have 3 planets here, almost 4, and 1 up here in fire sign houses. No, wait a minute, this one up here. The 5th house is a fire sign house. That's the normal sign of Leo. Now, you have the sun in Leo. You have 5 children, and I would assume you feel like you've had to raise them alone pretty much at the time,
Basically,
or not?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the sun in the 5th house in Leo. They're a capable parent of raising their children alone. And yet the children are they're the sunshine in their life, so to speak. Now, did you have, what did you have? You had the one girl when you
I
were...
had a daughter and son by...
The first marriage?
Well, by the second marriage.
Second marriage, okay.
Yeah. And then my 3 youngest children, who have basically grown up on this coast.
Yeah.
By the third.
Yeah, okay. Now, the second child, is it a girl?
Second child was a boy. First was a girl. I had an abortion, so that might be what you're reading.
No, I want the living ones.
Okay, girl.
This one.
Boy.
Now, is the boy living?
Yeah.
Is he here, or is he...
He's here.
Uh-huh. Talk to me about him.
Well, that boy is the only one of my children that I feel is in serious trouble. I think he's an alcoholic, probably. And he's not facing up to anything. Yeah, he's just kind of living in a cocoon. He's just not dealing. He's 28 years old. He's not dealing with anything. And in point of fact, he keeps his life pretty well. He's very kind to me and loving, but he keeps himself very separated. You know, he does not reveal any of what's going on inside. I can't reach him right now.
What's his birthday?
March, of course, 4th.
So he's a Pisces.
He's the only one of my kids that I'm really worried about. The others seem to be really fine.
And so you told me, you just now said that he's the one that you have the hardest time reaching.
Well, now, not when he was a kid.
Oh, okay. Now, what about when he was a kid?
When he was a kid, he was a delight, as Pisces children often are. But my kids have had very hard lives.
Pisces have been under fire, you know, with Uranus and Saturn, and Neptune, because they have had squares to their charts for a long time. So Pisces have had, you've had Saturn, not Saturn, but you've had Uranus and Saturn square your sun sign for a while. From the 2nd to the 5th, monetarily, you've been having a rough time monetarily.
Rough is a mild word, yeah.
Well, and it's squaring your sun, and it also, it's like, well, this would give you worry for your kids too. This would be just your children in general. It would be. What about your first child? Because
She's
this would
fine. She's
describe.
getting married in August. She's great. She's 30.
Okay.
Successful, well integrated Aquarius person.
Uh huh. See, you now. See, your house of children is ruled by Pisces, so you have a very definite love. See, Pisces. Let's go into Pisces. Pisces people can. They're the people that know that nothing. How can I? Let me see. How can I explain? You know, I have much easier time reading sometimes for people that are not as close to me. I understand, and sometimes it's hard to. It's hard to get out the understanding. I mean, you can feel it between the two people, and you understand it between the two people. But the Pisces people. Now we talked about the Scorpio. They just push the people out when they're done. I mean, you're just not in my circle. Pisces people underneath. Now, this isn't your Mercury, but this is your Mars and your Sun and your ego. Underneath there, they have the realization that nothing is permanent. That we're here on Earth for a while, then we're gone. Our kids are with us for a while, and they're gone. So, it's a forgiving area, is what I'm getting at. Pisces forgives, but they don't understand that other people don't forgive as much as they do. I I have a hard time explaining this.
I know what you mean.
Pisces is the 12th sign of the zodiac. That's a cross between here and the beyond. Pisces people can pull from the past to work with what they're doing now. Other signs can't always do this, but your sun sign does that. Your Pisces sun, and you also have what they call the North Moon nodes conjunct your sun.
What does that mean?
That's
is that the good or the bad one?
no, nothing is good or bad. The South Moon nodes is like the cup. This is the information you have from last lifetime. And they're in Virgo for you. That's they're always exactly opposite of what the North Moon nodes. They're in Virgo, the 11th house. Okay, the 11th house is enlightenment. So let's take from your past karmic area. You have your South Moon nodes in Virgo. You know how to do things, analytical things, the little things in the little everyday mundane things. Or I mean, Virgo is analytical. You can analyze things from the past. You can use your past analytical nature and bring it to use in this lifetime. So you pull from the South Moon nodes the information you need for now, and the North Moon nodes are the experiences that you use now.
Okay. Thank you. I never knew what that was.
They're very important in the chart. I do not know as much about the moon nodes as I should, and you do have your sun conjunct the moon nodes right smack on. So this is karmic of a lot of stuff that you used from one lifetime to the other. Now, the karmic wise, it would say there's something you have to do.
Yeah.
And that is leave your past behind and start anew this lifetime. So if you've got karmic things from the past, you're supposed to brush them aside and go for it for today, because you're living in today.
Okay.
So I don't know if you do meditation or if you feel like, have you ever gone into anything as far as past lives are concerned?
I've just been aware that it exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if you're aware that it exists, then you have to strive for saying, yes, they exist. I can pull from information, but I will not delve back into them. I'm living today. This is when I say delve into them. What I'm saying is,
let them draw your energy.
Live today, because the North Moon node says you're supposed to do it today.
Okay, that's a real lesson I have to do. Yeah.
Now, also, do you feel you have some psychic abilities?
I feel that I did, and I feel that in coping, coping with day-to-day realities, that it's totally sidetracked.
Okay, with you, I don't think that's bad.
Why?
Because you
I
shouldn't
kind of
rely
resent it.
exclusively on your, with this moon node situation and this, and with it, the way it is in chart. You want to. It's okay to draw some from the past, but it's like we said, don't live in the past, but you're living in today's. And you're perfectly, truly capable of handling today's without working on the intuition from the past.
Uh-huh. Or perhaps I shouldn't. Is that what that
I'm
means?
saying as long as you, I wrote a little note here, and let's see, it says that you don't rely on it to the exclusiveness of everything else. Let's put it that way. Don't rely on your intuition inclusive of what you realize is right and wrong for today. You got me?
Would you just say that again?
Let's see. I got to reword it better for you. It's like your intuition is fine, but don't rely on it 100%. Use the black and white of today.
That's very true.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Now, some people have more insight than others, but sometimes they let it go too far where they don't use it properly, or they don't know if it's proper or not. And so intuition is fine, but you need the reality with it. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes, dealing with reality is very difficult.
Well, it's very hard because a Pisces person, the first thing you can do is escape. But you do have the Mercury in Aries, so you have the realization. Your reasoning power is different. Now let's get into your reasoning. It's in Aries. Once you start something, you really don't have a reverse gear. It's very difficult for you to stop. Once you start, it's hard for you to go back. In other words, you don't back up. Do you feel you do?
I never thought about it.
Side B.
Please. You go for it. And if you don't have this, Aries is a sign of the pioneer. It's a sign of the person that's going ahead and willing to tackle a lot of the odds to get results. I think you need it with your Pisces. I think you need it with your Gemini. It's your strength.
Yeah.
It's the thing that's your strength. It's the thing that pushes you forward and motivates you. It seems like there's always some balance in charts. I mean, you need balance. They're inner conflicts, but in turn you get balance from them.
Well, I feel that this stuff in Aries has probably saved my life.
You bet it has.
Yeah.
You bet it has.
Yeah.
It's the thing that says, hey, wherever the sign of Aries is in a chart means the beginning. Wherever Pisces means, it means the ending. So what are you doing? Pisces is in the house, your fifth house. It's your house of children. So this lifetime you are more or less completing being the mother and having the children. You've been serving in this area karmically, so you are finishing off that area, the learning period. What's the new period you're going into? Service to others. This is your new beginning area. This is the new area that's good for you. This is where you find the mental workout. And you have Uranus in there, and you have Mercury almost in there, and you have Mercury progressed in there. So your service to others. Sixth house is also experience, it's discrimination, and it's adjustments. So these are the areas. I always write these down because I forget them. I mean, I know 3 or 4 of them, but I forget them. So it's an area that you're just beginning in your life cycles to be more discriminative. You're learning adjustments, but this is service to others. It is service to others. What are you doing? You are with the senior citizens. You have to give of yourself And you're supposed to be learning service to others, so what are you doing? You're not getting monetarily rewarded what you should for that. You're giving of yourself to the area up there and to the people. That's great. How do you feel about it? I think it's.
Well, I feel that a human being should make enough money to live on, so they
Oh,
don't have
yes.
to live in dire poverty. And this is the crux of my problem with the senior center. I would do that for the rest of my life. I'm doing it really good.
But you have to survive too.
But I can't.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
if it would be great for somebody with a private income. I mean,
Yes. Yes.
yeah. But I just, no, that's been real successful, and I feel like I've done some real good there in the sense of setting up systems and doing, so it can survive.
Mhm.
But it's, it has to cease very soon. Or
I'll take. Right now in your chart though. I was looking at some of it. Let me look at some of the others here. Let me look at your progressed moon. Some of the actions that are coming up. Now, 3 months ago, your progressed moon entered the 9th house. So it's like, as of 3 months ago, it's like you're starting a new phase. You completed one. Now it hasn't changed signs. It was 10 months ago that it changed signs. But 8th house, it's left the 8th house, it's here into the 9th, so the 8th house would be your resources, and you're giving, so now you are changing your thinking, because it's going into the 9th. So you're in a new territory. But what your chart shows, you're in a territory of thinking. This is between now and next December, and everything in your chart is almost all. It has to do with 9th house matters, and I'll go into that. 10th, okay, and there is 10th house things here. And there's also 5th house. So we get 9th, 5th, and 10th. Okay, 10th is your career.
Yeah.
So it's like you're thinking of making changes, but
I don't.
You're
know
in an interim period now. You haven't decided yet what you're going to do. Your chart shows an interim period. I don't have too many hits, what I call hits in your chart. I don't have too many aspects with it that are really things that go, say, now's the time to move. What you've got, I've got a half dozen of them here that are all saying, I am thinking about it, I'm going to put something
That's
into.
exactly what's happening.
Okay, and what you're doing is, and this is okay, this is what you're supposed to be doing now. It's like you're gathering all the facts of what you want to do. What can I do? What can't I do? Which way do I turn? Which way I don't turn?
I also don't feel good about leaving the center for money. I also don't feel good about that.
But you have to survive.
But it's become impossible for me to.
Hey, there's, how can I put it? Christine Bauer told me this, and I thought it was so good. Do you know her?
Oh, yeah, she's a doll.
Okay, she said everybody's got a cup, and the cup gets filled. Now, when it's to the point that it's to the top and some of it flows over, then you can give all that away you want. But you cannot keep your cup empty by giving it as soon as it pours in. You've got to fill your own cup first, and then you're allowed to give away. You can't keep your own cup empty. So, you have spent the last 2.5 years, I don't know, how long have you been at the senior center?
Well, employed about approximately that time.
Okay,
employed.
This was of the resources, this was giving of yourself. So you have done that. In the last 3 months, this moon has progressed, where now it's up to the 9th house, and so you're saying, hey, your own resources, there comes an end. So there is something you have to do. It is cold in here. Pisces is one of the heaviest signs in the zodiac because they're junk food eaters. They just eat when they're happy. Usually they eat when they're upset. Now, me, I eat when I'm happy. I eat when I'm sad. I eat any old time.
Scorpios aren't too bad at eating either.
No, they do for excess.
Yeah.
Anything that Scorpios do, they do in excess a lot of times. And Geminis are high-wired, high-strung, nervous. So they do it to calm the nerves. So you've got the pattern.
I don't want to take any time on this, but could I just take a couple minutes and
Sure.
ask you something? I assume that you're bound by the same ethics of confidentiality that I am
Hey,
in my job.
there is nothing that ever goes across this table that is
Okay.
repeated. Period.
I believe you. But,
You want this on tape or not?
No, yeah, this is fine.
Okay.
I work with several people, so
Yeah.
you will not know who I'm talking about. But I work with one person who's driving me crazy and who has since the day I have started the job. And this person is not a bad person, does
Mhm.
a very good job, and is also compassionate in certain areas. But
Mhm.
this person is driving me crazy. Now, is
Mhm.
there any indication?
This would probably be somebody that you work with. We would come down to an area here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, let me explain. When you meet people, when you walk into a room, you can walk into one and you can see a person sitting over here and a person sitting over here. You will motivate toward this person because you just have planets in common.
Right, I know that.
And this person, you may have planets that are not in common, and then you also can have people that their planets just do not jive with yours in any way, shape, or form, so
Mhm.
they can drive you up a wall.
Mm-hmm. And it doesn't mean they're bad guys.
No, it
Yeah.
just means that your common meeting ground, your common planets together just are not good, and it's very difficult when you're forced in with somebody this way. Now, you also, I would say, the last 15 days, you've had Mars in the house of the people you work with, so it could have bothered you way more
Maybe I'm
than
fresh.
normal.
Yeah, maybe I'm fresh from that too.
Well, you don't want to tolerate it anymore when you get it when
Well,
you get
it's
Mars
that I
in
don't know
there.
if I
You
can.
just
Is the whole
yeah.
problem.
Now let's see. Wait a minute. That's let me see here. Okay, Mars is at 4 of Pisces. Okay, it will come into an area where it's sextiling. It probably won't quite bother you as much.
Oh, good.
But I'm only talking, Mars is only a month at a time. So I'm only telling you a month at a time. Let's see what we... This is not an employer. This is someone that's
Someone
like
I
an
work with.
employee that
Yeah.
you work with. I'm wondering if I should put this as an Are they paid or not?
It would have to be an employee status, yeah.
Okay. Okay, this is the people you work with. So we would have to look and see what's in here. Aries, okay, you've got Neptune squaring the area. Oh, and you get Saturn squaring it, and you got Uranus squaring it.
Well, okay, that's
There.
present, right? Because in the past, I owned a restaurant which had many employees, and it was heaven, it was harmony and great.
Yeah.
Because I got to hire them. But
Okay.
I mean, this isn't a
That's
pattern.
right.
This isn't a pattern, is what I'm saying. This
Yeah.
is unusual for me to have that kind of problem with somebody I'm working with. But it's been radical. It's been radical all the way through. And I just wondered.
Anything that squares this house. Oh, hey, where's my pattern sheet here? Okay. I don't know the answer for you there because there isn't anything really.
But you think maybe it's just been heavier
You
lately.
you can have personality conflicts with people, you bet. And as they move now, you've had
I don't want you to worry about it. I just
no. Let me squaring the cusp of that house. You have Neptune.
Deceitful.
Is that where you feel?
Yep.
Is that the way you feel about it?
Yeah.
Now they can be or not, but it can be the way you feel.
That's yeah.
So okay. Then the other thing is you do have your progressed moon. Well, you have your progressed moon opposite Neptune now.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we got to look at that.
Oh,
No, that's
dear.
okay. No, that's what's going to give you the ideas of what you want to do.
Uh-huh.
That's the creativeness. Neptune opposite, your progressed moon is opposite, just transiting Neptune. And it has been off and on for the last 3 months, 4 months. This is what's giving you ideas of, hey, I've got to survive.
Mm-hmm.
And what direction am I going to go? Now, also, with this progressed moon, let's get on to it, because the other, the Neptune squaring it, so you know what that is. Okay, your progressed moon moving into the 9th house is just into the 9th house. See, this is your higher thinking. It's out of the giving of resources to others now, and it's moving into the area of the higher thinking, the higher intellect. This is almost like education or travel, or you're wanting to get away for a longer trip, you're wanting to learn more.
I hate to be.
It's metaphysical.
I hate to be pedestrian, but I want to make more money. It's the first time in my life I've ever made that kind of statement when I'm 56 years old.
There's nothing wrong
can
with
no
you saying
longer-
that now.
I can
There's
no
no-
longer.
There's nothing wrong with you saying that now, because you've passed this area of the resource part, and it is the part you're coming into an area in 2.5 years from now. Even it'll be into the career. Now I don't mean you're not doing anything for 2.5 years, but you are in a stage for the next few months of deciding what you want to do. And it's fine, like we said, you got to fill your own cup before you can give it away. Now you've been giving it away for at least 2.5 years here, and you're finding that the cup's getting empty, and you've got to do something with it. Pluto is okay. Pluto's in your first house. That's what's doing it to you too.
What degree is Pluto now?
Pluto's at 10 degrees right now, transiting Pluto. And your moon today is right on the cusp of your first house as you're talking to me, so you're interested in things that affect you physically and for you yourself. This is fine. You know, we've got to think, people, you have a giving nature. You have to, but see, with your Scorpio, you can have your cake and eat it too. Scorpio is the only sign that can do anything they want to do work-wise compared to other signs.
Isn't it amazing? Yes, I know it.
They can, so you have any kind
already
of
have.
feels that you, yeah, I owned a restaurant. I was in the restaurant business for years. And of course, I still do the catering for the Lions Club,
Oh,
you know,
that's right.
twice a month. And, but there's a lot of things, a lot of fields open to you. But what you're doing right now is you're in this interim period trying to figure out which one you want.
Mm-hmm.
And the ninth house is spirituality. It's almost like it's your intellect, your philosophy of life. It's when anything is in the 8th house. This is the house of transition. When it's done with the 8th, you're done with your transition time, and then you go on to another territory. So you just finished a transition time, and now you're ready to go on to the other area. And I'm surprised you haven't done something within the last 2 or 3 months, other than the fact that all these say I'm at the thinking stage.
Well,
I haven't quite decided. You have made a decision.
I've made the decision that I have to quit the senior
Okay,
center, 'cause
okay, so you did make the decision, but what to do next is the territory you're in here.
Yeah.
And, but you don't have a lot of heavy aspects. Let's see, how do I put this? You know you have to do something. You've made the decision. You have to do it, but you have not. The aspects in your chart have not given you the motivation to do
That's
it.
right.
That's the territory you're in.
Yeah.
So as soon as you get some of these things hitting, then the motivation to do will become there. But it isn't that you let it go down the drain because you think about it beforehand, because you're in all this territory here that you're thinking of it. And it has to do, you have a lot of stuff. Well, 10th house is career. That's where it's basically 10th house and 5th house. So you're looking at something that 5th house is your talents. That's your inborn talents, your creative talents.
If you looked at that chart and you didn't know me, what would you think I should do for a living? Isn't that a nasty, horrible?
No, you're an organizer. You have Leo at the top of your chart. No, let's go through it. Here's the way you earn money. Here's the way the people that you work with, and the evaluation that way. Here's your career per se, of what you choose as a career. Okay, now where the sun is plays an important part. Have you ever done any work with kids?
Well, I've been raising them for 30 years.
Yeah.
But aside from that, no.
So you have stuff here with kids because your sun sign is in Pisces, but also the 5th house is your potential, it's your creative inspiration, it's how you produce results. But you're an organizer up here. Recreation, this is the house of recreation too. And you have now you have Jupiter up at the top. You've never had trouble finding work, I don't think, have you?
God, no. I've done everything you can think of.
But the door's always open. Jupiter is at the top of your career house, so the door's open for you when you need it. You don't go without.
No. But what I would
And-
like to do is is make a living doing creative work, and that's what I can't seem to be
Okay.
able to put together.
Okay, yes. Now, see, I was trying to say creative. This is metaphysical stuff up here. But God, you try and make a living of it up here, and you've got another whole ball game.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
I
just
I don't feel that I would like to.
well, you can't survive. The way you make money, it shows. The way you make money is a Sagittarian way.
A children's travel agent.
Terrific, terrific. See, okay, Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius can make it in different ways. They don't like to. Okay, number one, they don't like to be held in. A Sagittarius. The way you make money, you don't like to be held into. It's like you want freedom to make it. It's like either work for yourself or work independent hours, not having to be 9 to 5 office hours. You would never be happy making money 9 to 5 office hours because you have Jupiter at the top of your chart and it shows the way you make money. You're good at organizational stuff. But you've got to have the freedom. It's like you've got to have the freedom to run it yourself. You cannot be under someone's thumb. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
You can't be cooped in.
Well, I have done that, but it's not very happy.
But you're not happy with it. But you have Leo at the top of your chart, so you have such good organizational abilities. You have, normally I would tell some people, well, this and this and this looks good for you. But you have potential in many directions where the other people don't. So I'm not helping you because even here it says, hey, you're thinking about all this stuff and you can't decide. What have you done in the past?
What I've done in the past. I was the youngest person in the state of New York ever to pass the real estate salesman's test. I had a real estate salesman's license when I was 16.
Okay.
When I was 17, I was teaching the Dale
But real estate wasn't your forte, really.
No,
Other than it got you out.
I was very successful.
It got you out.
Yeah.
I
was real successful. I cleared up a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Made some money. I taught the Dale Carnegie course to Korean War veterans when I was 17, 18. I had a wonderful job in New York. Then I went to Manhattan, but my first husband through medical school. I loved the job. I worked at NYU at the Graduate School of Mathematics. And
I was going to ask you about math. See, this is, okay, now, you are in the 9th house here, where this is education. Are you thinking this is a territory where you could almost be thinking about going back to school? Now it can be self-taught school.
Yeah. What? This is my big quandary. My mush brain. I've got a mush brain these days.
No, you don't. You just haven't quite decided. That's all.
You name it, I've done it, and been quite successful. I was quite.
Go ahead. I interrupted you there, and you did.
And when I went to the country with my second husband and had the babies, I did a lot of art, say just parentheses art, and I would go down to Washington Square in Manhattan twice a year, and in those 2 times made about $5,000. And money has never been a problem until I moved to this coast, which is something which I don't want to think about because I don't want to move away.
No, because you're a water people.
Yeah.
Okay, water people. In fact, I should talk to you about that. Well, you don't have an abundance, an excess of water signs. Water people need this. They need the ocean. They need to hear the ocean. They need the peace of the ocean. But they also can get waterlogged when it rains too much. They can become depressed with too much rain and need the sunshine. But I think you're okay there. But the area is very good. You want the freedom of earning. Okay, you're ruled by Sagittarius in your money house. You want the freedom of earning, not the concrete jungle. You have Sagittarius on the very top for career in your chart, and it's a Leo. So consequently, you're
I'm terrified. I realize.
You know what I keep
present.
seeing here. You know what I keep seeing here, and this is so dumb to even say it to you. I don't know that you could even get a job doing it or anything else. I don't know why but it just is clicking. I'll tell you what it is, and it's like a security guard or something, like Sea Ranch Day security guard or anything like that, where you're out driving.
Sounds like a wonderful job to me.
You get pay. Yeah. You would not be held in. You'd be behind a steering wheel because you enjoy driving very much. I don't know if they've ever hired a female security guard for daytime. I don't know that you'd want nighttime. But I know that sounds way out. But that shows that, hell.
No, but that is a real new, interesting thought. And, of course, you'd apply it to Sea Ranch here, but that's a real interesting thought.
Now, what else is there? Let's pattern off from those lines. See what I'm getting at?
That's a real interesting thought.
But this is, you need freedom in work. You're fine with the driving. And a Scorpio can do anything you want. You're a good organizer. I think, as you said something, I don't think people would give you back talk.
I'm going to tell you something that you're going to think is weird. You know those little back burners that you always think,
oh yeah,
I'd like to do. For years, I have not. Now this is my turn to. This is weird. For years, I have thought I would love to have one of those little food trucks. Like, there was one for sale in the paper.
Okay, we're talking about a set of wheels, just like I said with Sea Ranch, a set of wheels.
Well, isn't that a weird?
Freedom.
Every once in a while, I think, gosh, not a hot dog truck, of course. You'd have.
No, I know what you mean.
Little kind of a wonderful little.
Mm-hmm.
But which is totally unrealistic here too. But that keeps popping in my mind is what a fun possible.
Oh God, you'd enjoy that. You'd thoroughly enjoy that because
Isn't
anything
that fun?
Sagittarian occupation would be fine for you because you can make money in a Sagittarius way. This is where your money comes in, which is a Jupiter way. Anyway, you also have Jupiter at the top of your chart. Now you have Uranus controls in Aries, that are the people that you work with. You show that you have a lot of changes during your, changes during your lifetime.
Is this bothering you?
No, not a bit. Not a bit. You show changes during your lifetime in the people you work with. Many different people, yeah. Because it's Uranus, so you come across many different ones. Uranus trines your midheaven, see? You're right.
Uranus is kind of a mysterious planet to me.
Okay, let's explain Uranus, because you have Uranus conjunct your Mercury, so you have a lot of Aquarian tendencies. And we didn't go through this. Aquarians are different people to the extent that, okay, number one. Now this would be your mental faculties that I'm talking about here. Let's see what it does. Trines Jupiter, that's good. Trines your midheaven. Okay, so you don't have problems with this at all. Okay, but in Aquarian, Aquarius wants enlightenment, they want learning. The Uranus being where it is, it means you want to experience a multitude of things. You want to work with a multitude of people. You also, it's like tilt, is what I'm explaining. An Aquarian goes along and everything's okay, but they're like a pinball machine. And sometimes all of the balls roll to one side, and they feel out of tilt. And they have to, the whole life feels out of tilt then. Not just the one territory, but the whole life, and they can't get it going until they get it back up straight again. So this would be like your thinking. Whenever your thinking feels like it's out of tilt, it's like a pinball machine, and you have to work it to get it back up straight. I don't think you have difficulties there. You have all trines to it. So it would have to be when any planet would square it, because at birth, you have good aspects there at birth, so you don't, it isn't like you have the problems. But it's like you have Uranus in your 6th house is nerves too. Now I don't know that you have all trines to that too, so I shouldn't think that'd be too bad. A lot of people that have Uranus in the 6th have health problems because of nerves.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Well, you have all trines, so if you've never had a problem so far, you won't. So I'm not trying to put anything there that isn't there. But it's like you can this is another reason that you can coordinate well. Coordinating and all this stuff is very easy for you. It's not difficult for you at all. But I would say it's hard for you to understand how sometimes other people can't coordinate, because you can get your act together right away on the things, and it's the people you work with. And most of the times, I would say the people that you've hired, you've never had difficulty with either.
Not that I've hired.
No.
It's been wonderful.
Because you have the feel for the people right away to begin with anyway. So you have, but the Uranus is, Uranus is the best way to say is change. Now, if you want to learn about the planet Uranus, all the planets go this way in orbit. Uranus goes this way. And Uranus goes, they all turn, Uranus turns the exact opposite. Instead of turning, I guess, right to left, it turns left to right. Instead of going top to bottom or whatever it is, it goes bottom to top. That's the best way to explain it. It's different, it's unusual. No two Uranians think alike, and it means change. Now, you cannot stand mental stagnation in your life because Uranus is conjunct your Mercury, which means you have to have mental change all the time. It makes your mind moves faster than a lot of people because it can change gears where other people's can't. Your mind goes like this, see, because of Uranus. It's very changeable.
I think I might be learning why I've had such difficulty with this person, which is not the person's fault. Correct. Yeah. Okay. Where is
you
Uranus
just asked me.
Right now?
Uranus right now is at 29 of Sagittarius. It's been. Let me explain what he's been doing. He has been racking people up. Now, you have not gotten the rack up that other people get. Because you have...
You mean yet?
No, not that you're going to. We have to hit anything that's in... You don't have anything at 1 degree. The first thing... Okay, let's see. The only thing... Let me explain what it is. We've had... Uranus means change. It means rebel. It means go for it. Now this... Okay, let's talk about your mind, too. You were born with Uranus there, so you have a little rebel in your mind. You want to do it different. You want to do it unusual. And it doesn't mean that you feel you have to follow the rules all the time. It means you can make your own rules, but you can never cross the line of the rule that you made. Once you set your own rules, then you have to stay by your own rules. That's what I'm getting at. Okay, Uranus means change. It means different. It means enlightenment. It means learning. Saturn, it means go for it. Saturn means build a concrete foundation. It means restriction. It makes make sure. It means stability. Now, we have had, for the last year, we've had the planet Uranus and Saturn conjuncting. So we have had completely opposites sitting there together. So, if it has hit a degree on a person's chart where it can rack them up, let's say a person has 28 degrees of Sag rising. These people have been going through the ringers, 25 to anywhere between 25 and 29 degrees of Sag. I think 80% of the charts I've read recently, they've all had that in it, because these people don't know what the heck they want to do. They are nervous wrecks because they're saying, I want to make a change, and they're saying, you can't make a change. I want to make a change, you can't make a change. Well, you've had this, but you've had this in your second house of money, so you are getting it. You've decided you want to make a change, but you don't know what kind of a change to make. And it's bothering you, but it's not going like this to you. Right. So the difference is, if it was hitting a real big planet there, it would be going, but you know you're going to do it, so the Saturn-Uranus effect is there. But you can work with it and live with it, where some of them can't, because it's not hitting the big spots. So, it is moving out of your money house, and it's going to take a full year. Now let me explain this. As it gets further out and further out all the time, it doesn't become as dire. When anything hits the cusp of a house is when you really feel the true reaction. Now the cusp of your money house is 4 degrees. We're talking 29 degrees now. See, so you're at the end of the cycle. So when I say a year, I mean that's just finishing out whatever you've left over. It's not like a whole new money ball game. You've had the last, Saturn's been in Sag for 2.5 years. So last 2 years to 2.5 years, money-wise, it's been a nightmare for you, probably.
It has been. Yeah.
But you see, Saturn being there said you had to learn something about money. You can be a giver. I think what it's probably trying to teach you is that you can give of your resources, but you've got to take that cup and use the overflow and not the full part. So that's what Saturn's been teaching you there.
It's been a very difficult lesson.
Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. Let me see where the Saturn thing is in your chart here too. Just take me, darn it.
It's okay.
I forgot. You do not become an adult until you are 29 and a half years old. That's your first Saturn return. That's when you permanently, mentally leave the nest and the teachings your parents gave you and you became an individual. Until then, you think you're an individual, but you still have the environment, the childhood environment there smacking at you. So at 29 and a half,
Well,
you
actually,
became your own
That's
person.
probably about approximately the time I came to California, probably. Yeah.
You see, you became your own individual at that time and you left the nest, quote, so to speak.
Yeah.
So then when you come to your next Saturn return, which is 59 and a half, which you'd be coming to soon.
Yeah.
We've got another 2 years. Saturn's just at 0 of Capricorn. We got another 2.5 years, and your Saturn is going to return to your Saturn. And this is the time when you should begin to reap the rewards and harvest the rewards of what you've done during your previous years. So Saturn return is just merely meaning that now it's the time for the harvest. Once you grew up and now you're to start harvesting. Uranus opposite Uranus is a hairy thing in people's lives a lot of times. It's 29, 30, 42, or not 29, this is 39, 40, 41. They call it the midlife crisis, but it isn't truly a midlife crisis. It is the time when people decide what is important to them for the rest of their lives. Now you have you're Scorpio Pisces, you're a humanitarian. That's what the whole ball game's about. This is why you're sitting here with the conflict of leaving what you want to do for money.
Yes, it's very difficult.
Now you see, I'm sitting where the husband, where we money-wise we're okay, so I can do what I'm doing and not have to earn a living with it.
Yeah.
So this is where I'm okay. But until I got to this stage, I had to work. I've worked all our married lives. So that what I'm saying is you shouldn't feel the guilt from it.
Yeah.
Because you will get to do both.
I'm working through that, yeah.
But you can't feel guilty that you have to survive. Unless you survive yourself, you can't help somebody else.
That's what I've come to realize.
So you have to, this is good. If you're learning this is great.
Yeah.
Because you have to be a me first to survive. Of course, if you want to survive or just stick around a Scorpio, they'll survive. Their will to live is stronger than any other sign in the zodiac. They're the ones that you can go into the hospital and the doctors say they won't make it past 3 days. 2 weeks later, they're out dancing a jig.
Oh, I had that experience too. I was run over by a truck and came up out of a morphine swoon in intensive care, and those doctors were down there talking with their charts, talking about how I might not ever walk again. That's a real typical Scorpio story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can survive.
Yeah.
The will to live is very strong, and but you've just got to learn. You've got to fill your own cup first.
That's what
Now you're talking about that's just for fun, just bat it around. You're talking about the wagon with the food.
Now, it's just
Now what else?
That's some odd little
similar.
thing that
Take the
just kept
similar
popping in my-
yeah, but see, take the similarities to those things.
That's what I want to
This
think
will
about.
give you the idea stage.
Yeah.
These will give you the idea stage.
That's why I want to really think deeply about the other peripheral parts of the security guard. That is it. That's a real, because that has.
I don't know if there'd be anything come to it or not.
But there might. It might all fit. I really appreciate you.
Well, see, Sagittarius at the top of your chart, Jupiter at the top of your chart, means you can handle almost any kind of work. You're a good organizer, but it also likes freedom. So what other jobs are there for freedom?
Yeah.
I'm trying to mull it over, and I keep coming back that one, but there's others that. What is there up here that you can do with
Well, that's what I have to work on.
freedom, with driving, with.
Or the freedom even could be just not having to be in one place all the time.
Right.
That's-
Right. No, I
hate
I
that,
could
really.
I could never work a job more than 5 or 6 years. Well, now this is something a Scorpio does. They never stay at one job their whole lifetime. I don't know if you knew that or
No,
not.
I didn't.
Because as soon as they learn the job thoroughly, they must move on to something else because the challenge is gone.
Uh-huh.
So as soon as the job is completely learned, they move on. So never begrudge yourself that you have had many things. I don't think you do, because
No.
you feel like you've learned from each one,
Yes.
and each one you've learned to handle more.
Mm-hmm.
So if you move on each time to something else, Gemini can't stand repetitive work. They'll walk the floor if they have anything. It's like when I did work in an office, I would do the first 2 hours I got there. I would do everything that took repetition that I knew I had to get done, so that the rest of the day I could be more freewheeling, because I couldn't stand the repetitive work. Mm-hmm. So because you have double signs, so this is a non-sit still, and it's a restless nature.
Mm-hmm.
Underneath you have a restless nature.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to be learning. What's Gemini? What's the sign of Gemini? It says, I must collect facts all my life. Sagittarius says Virgo says I have to analyze the facts. Then Sagittarius says I've got to put them together and make the jigsaw puzzle one complete picture. And then what does Pisces do? It says, now I've learned this, now I must put it, how does it relate to me? So let's take part of your personality. You have a Gemini moon. You do have to collect facts. And then you have to see how they relate to you personally. I'm just taking your sun and moon sign, so if we took the combination together and skipped all the others, then we just work that. You have to relate to them. You have so many things in the 5th house too. See, this is 5th house again. Now here's kids, here's recreation. It
should give me a possibility to make money creatively, shouldn't it?
Oh yes, yeah. See, the sun in the 5th, you want to make money creatively. This is where you feel the best.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is where you know. Now, I've never been a baby person. I don't care for babies. When they get older and they can walk and they can talk and show their own stuff, that's when I like them. And I like them when they hit teenagers, where other people don't. But you have a lot of things in this 5th house. Your sun sign's in there. Your North Moon node, your Mercury's in there. This is a house of kids. Creative inspiration. And it is like your talents, it's what you value. But this is kids. Now, I don't know what there is up here with kids, and I don't know if you're interested in working with kids or not.
I don't think so. I think I'm pretty well kitted out.
Okay.
I like teenagers a lot too. I do a lot of community service work at the senior center. When kids are on probation, come and work there. I work with teenagers now.
Okay. Now. Like that.
That's a real possibility too.
Scorpios they work as probation officers more than any other sign, because they can get the inward depth, they can get the feeling. So you might.
I just wanted to tell you that the friend of my grandmother's who did my chart when I was born wrote on it, I saw this years ago, that I would make a good surgeon. What would
That's Scorpio. Scorpio's sign of the surgeon.
She said that.
Okay,
she
let me tell you.
Very in-depth.
Well, let me also tell you, it's the sign of doctors. 8th house, real Scorpio. This is doctors. This is insurance. It's investigation. It's Scorpios are manipulators. Now the minute you hear manipulator, it always sounds negative to a lot of people, but it's not. You can manipulate situations so that the Scorpio can manipulate the situation so they never come about. They can stop a fight through manipulation of two people, we'll say. So manipulation can be fine. Chiropractor, they manipulate people. So whether you do it physically or mentally or resourcefully, you go through all these signs. So consequently, Scorpios are very good in insurance. Now, okay.
That's in the possibility, isn't it? Yeah.
Insurance, in the insurance line. It's too bad that you're not in an area where we have like insurance adjusters for cars or something along these lines, see, because you would be very good along those lines. I wonder, Okay, when she said surgeon, let's go a little further for medical or medicine. You're a healer, see? Pisces and Scorpio rising, that's a healer. Is there anything at RCMS that would interest you that you could go to?
It's a possibility, too. It's a possibility. I just have to, I'm the type of person I have got to mull this all over.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe you can play this tape back. Of course, you'll remember it all anyway. But RCMS with the healing, see, with the healing part, because nurses, what's in charge of nursing? Pisces.
One of the people I have the most admiration for on this coast is Lois Falk. Do you know her? She is that family practitioner at RCMS.
I have heard about her, and everybody, I've heard very nice things about her all the way through.
Amazing person.
I'll bet you 2 bits we'd find some Scorpio in her full tilt.
Probably.
See?
Wouldn't be surprised.
So, because the Scorpios work around medical things, because Scorpios are more, they're the manipulators, they're the surgeons, but they're also the mental healer. What's in charge of psychiatric work? Pluto. Pluto's in charge of Scorpio. When they discovered Pluto in 1932, the psychiatric field, or the brainwashing from the war people, really came to full tilt because that's Scorpio. Scorpios are afraid of the unknown, and as soon as something is known, they're no longer afraid of it. Let's see, you were born with Pluto. You were born with Pluto in your 9th house. You had to learn to adjust yourself to spirituality and God. Is one of the things you had to search for. And until you found it, you would be afraid, but you found, okay, what you did. Wherever Pluto is where your fear is, and you turn to Mars for solving it, so you turn to your inner self. When you satisfied your inner self needs, then you're okay. Spiritually, that's what I'm getting at. Because this shows where the fear is and how you solve it. You have Venus in Taurus. This is self-worth. And this probably means you sometimes have making adjustments with money and self-worth in yourself. I mean, you know you want to do this work, but you also know that you don't feel it's worth as much unless you have the steady income or the security. That's what I'm getting at. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think so.
You can adjust then to both, but what I'm saying, Venus in Taurus likes the finer things. They like the nice things.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
So,
of rich or poor, rich is much nicer. I've experienced.
Right. Okay, that's what you're saying it much better than what I was saying it, because it's uncomfortable not to be that way. Some people can live in a pup tent. Venus in Taurus has a very great difficult time living in a pup tent because they like the nice things. So consequently, when you don't have the nice things, you can feel that you're challenging. You have to challenge yourself, and yet this other half of you comes out and says, I really need to give. So it's this way. It's not like you're aware of it. Wherever there's an opposition in a chart, you're aware of it. It's a problem, but you're aware of the problem. Whenever there's a square in a chart at birth, there's a problem, but outside influences and the awareness isn't as great. So whenever you come to an opposition in a chart, you can stand on both sides and look at it for the end result. See, it's just like in marriage. Underneath, you want balance in marriage. But your Scorpio and your Taurus are a little different thing. They the Taurus would like to have you want balance. You don't want to have to tend all the time in marriage. You want to give and a take. And if I help you, you help me. What's all of this? Me help you all the time. That's what I'm getting at. You wanted me to check this other chart for you.
I just wanted to sneak that in, which wasn't fair.
No, this is all right.
My
Okay,
daughter will
okay.
probably listen to this
Yeah.
reading. Did you do your son and his wife's chart?
Oh yes, I do them all the time. She's Aquarian.
Oh, so
She
that explains that.
they have a very good match together. Yeah. They they your combination signs, your Scorpio, Pisces, and Gemini sign. It's like when you're down in the dumps and somebody wants to come over and say, well, let's do so and so to get you out of the dumps. You would I'll explain me because this is part of you too. Um, Dick will say, "Do you want to go to dinner?" And I'll say, "No." "You want to go to show?" I'd say, "No." I've